everyone, Micha here from ZAM Adventures. Today, what I'm gonna be doing is showing you upgrades to my gaming rig. What I have in here is a GeForce GTX 770. First of all, the motherboard in there is a Z97. It's an ASUS, I believe it's a Maximus Gene, because it's a micro ATX board. But the tower that I have is a Corsair 760T. So it's a full-size tower, a full tower, but I have a micro ATX board in there. So, you know, small board, big tower. Full custom water loop with water blocks on the CPU and the GPU. GPU that's been running in there is a Nvidia GeForce Titan Black. So it's the same year as the 700 series cards. So actually in here is a 770. So I had the 770 on a water block, swapped it out with the Titan Black that's in there now. CPU that's running in there is an Intel i7 3770K Ivy Bridge. I did not win the silicon lottery on that, so basically in order to overclock, it really needs to be overvolted. It wasn't really running stable when I tried to overclock it, so right now I'm just running it on stock numbers. I've got a triple 120 rad at the top of my case and a dual 120 rad in the front of my case, D5 pump, Aqua Computer Aqualis reservoir, it's a SwiftTech GPU block, and a Raystorm block on the CPU. There's a lot of stuff in there. Alright, so basically what happened was that's a lot of old hardware, you know, like we're talking 2013, 2014. So I didn't even go over the RAM. The RAM in there, GSkill Ripjaws, DDR3, 16 gigabytes, so 4 DIMMs, 4 gigabytes per stick. So now I've got some new equipment here. I'm gonna put together on the test bench here and see if it's gonna post. Hopefully it does. The reason why I brought out this old graphics card is the 770 that I put the air cooler back on, stock cooler. The reason why I brought it out is because the CPU that I have here is a AMD Ryzen 5 3600 XT. It's my temporary chip CPU until I can hopefully acquire a Zen 3 architecture. I don't know, maybe a Ryzen 7 5700X or 5800X. I forget what the series is. I think it's a 5800X. I mean, if I could get one of those, I'll probably upgrade to that, because the board I have in here is an X570 board. It's MSI Meg X570 Ace. So, you know, it's got all the bells and whistles on it. It even has support for PCIe for the NVMe Gen4 SSD, which, by the way, I ordered. I don't have it here on me, but I ordered one. Okay, so basically I'm going to be upgrading, you know, everything from faster SSD to new motherboard, new CPU, GPU. I'm not upgrading yet because, you know, I'm waiting on more 3080s to come in stock. RTX 3080 is not in stock anywhere. And in here, I've got RAM. It's Alloy Warhawk. So it's this Alloy Warhawk RGB CL18, 16 gigabytes. So 2 sticks. I have another set of this coming on the way, and I'm going to be testing with this LiPa 600 watt power supply. Hopefully, I mean, it should work because it's, you know, it's not going to really draw too much power. But that's just for my test bench, because, I mean, my current power supply is a Seasonic 760 Platinum. It's in there, and I believe that should be enough to power a 3080 plus Ryzen 7 5800X. So, you know, join me as I put this together, and hopefully I can get it to post. Because if I can get it to post, then that would be great, because I need them to work. because I need this to work so that I'm able to at least know that the motherboard is operational, as well as my RAM and the CPU, so everything would be working accordingly and ready for any potential GPU or CPU upgrades that I do. So another thing is I'm gonna have to update the BIOS. I'll have to go in. I'll probably do a flash the BIOS while it's on the test bench. Basically what you can do with this motherboard is put the BIOS in a thumb drive, take the thumb drive, plug it in, hit flash BIOS, and it will just update the BIOS off of the thumb drive. So I gotta make sure it posts first before I can do that. But if it does post, technically what I could do is plug in the thumb drive and load the new BIOS, flash the new BIOS from the BIOS screen, or you know, the GUI. So yeah, I'm gonna put this together on the test bench. Hopefully it posts, and come on, join me as I do that. All right, so let's get to building this thing. All right, this is my test bench. I've used this before on my Intel machines, but I'm gonna use it right now as well on this AMD machine. So hopefully I can remember how to set this up. Obviously I have my posts set up for ATX, for an ATX board right here. And let's see how it does with this board here. So I actually got this board used on eBay, which is why I really wanted to test it first on this bench before I, you know, give them any feedback to make sure, you know, to say that, oh yeah, it was a great transaction, because I need to make sure that it was working, because it was advertised as a working board. So since it was advertised as a working board, I want to make sure that it is indeed a working board. So this is the Meg right here. This is the board. This is my X570 board right here. So yeah, it's got all the support, and hopefully I have the standoff set up correctly. Now let's actually open up my processor right here. And here it is, Zen 2 architecture. Got this from Antonline, one of the only places that actually had a decent price for them, because from what I've noticed, like every single location has been like selling this processor for way too expensive. Antonline was actually pretty reasonable. All right, so they always suggest to ground yourself first, but you know, I don't have one of those grounding like things that you can attach to the power supply. All right, next I'm gonna have to put in the CPU fan header. CPU fan, there we go, CPU fan in. All right, time for some RAM. The RAM I've got here is some Alloy Warhawk CL18. They are 3600 megahertz. So hopefully, even with this cache latency being very like loose, you know, hopefully it will still be okay, and hopefully this is, since the first time I'm trying it, hopefully it actually works, because I haven't used this RAM before. They're RGB, so you know, it worked well with this Mystic Light thing that MSI's got going. Supposedly it's supposed to work with Mystic Light, so we'll see how that goes. Alright, so here's one stick. Ooh, it looks really cool. This RAM looks cool, but I don't know how it performs. Hopefully I can just like XMP the thing and just get it to run it the right. So since I only have 2 sticks right now, the other 2 sticks are on the way. It says to put it in slot 2 and slot 4. That's according to the motherboard specs. Slot 2 and slot 4, so let's do that. Slot 2 is in, now slot 4. Okay, slot 2 and slot 4 are in. Cool. So next, it's going to have to be the GPU. So I'm only using this GPU to test it and make sure that, because there's no video out on this, there's no integrated graphics on the AMD Ryzen 5 3600 XT. So this is my old EVGA GeForce GTX 770. Put the GPU in here. Okay, that's in. The GPU is in. Everything's in. So now let's get some power to this thing. And to deliver the power, I just got for this test bench, only for this test bench, this LiPa 600 watt power supply. So hopefully it works, because it's actually a refurb. I got it only for this test bench because I already have my current rig that's still running my 760 watt power supply. So the cool thing about this Alloy RAM is that the color scheme matches the Meg Ace here. So it's got some gold and black, and that matches the gold and black on this Ace. Actually, my EVGA card matches that as well, but I'm not going to be running this card. Alright, so here's the unit. You can tell it's been used. Yeah, you can definitely tell it's been used. So here it is. Alright, so I don't even have any mounting screws. Oh, they actually did give me mounting screws. Awesome. So I've got some mounting screws, and I've got my power cable. So I really hope this runs, because I've never tried it before. I've never tried this power supply before. So let's see if it will run. I've got mounting screws, but I don't think I'm going to use them. I'm just going to try and get this power connected. I might even just put it off to the side here. Let's put it off to this side. And 24 pin. Let's get this 24 pin in. Okay, 24 pin should be in. Yep. This thing has a lot of like Molex and stuff. Is this CPU? Doesn't even say. Normally they'd say it, right? Wow, this is kind of tangled. Not surprising. Not surprising at all. Okay, this is like a 6-pin, 8-pin and 8-pin connector here. So I only need the 8 and the 6 for my actual graphics card. So let's set this up as an 8 and 6. Here's an 8 and the 6. Here's the 8-pin and the 6-pin. Got the 8 and the 6. Let's take a look at what I've got here. 12-volt CPU, 6+2, 8 PCIe. It says I should have 2, which I do. Hopefully that's enough power here. Oh my goodness. It's all running out the same thing here. Okay, and this should be 8-pin connector. Alright, so after doing a little bit of research, technically I only need to use one of the 8-pin power supply ports. The other, basically what would happen is if you're doing some extreme overclocking and you need some exotic cooling, like, you know, LN2 or something like that, going sub-ambient or whatever and trying to overclock the heck out of it, you're gonna need the second power in order for it to work. So basically I can try to get this to post now. What I have to do is plug into the graphics card and try to get a signal out of it. So you know what? Let's do that, and I'm actually gonna try this with a monitor and plug this in. All right, so come on, let's try. Okay, so the closest thing to a monitor I could find was this big old TV right here. So if it's gonna work, it should post. All right, power is on. Now let's see if I can get a signal. Wow, that is moving fast, man. The fan on my freaking card is moving super fast. Let's see if I can get a signal though. Lots of codes, lots of codes, lots of codes. Getting a lot of codes here. Did it post? Let's see. All right. It looks like it found the processor. It found 16 gigs of memory. That's all right. Let's hit F1. Let's see what happens. There we go. It looks like it posted. All right. Okay, cool. So if you can see the big old monitor right here, I got it to post. Everything's running. The light is really cool inside of there. There's LEDs in there, and it's really cool. So is the LED. So are the LEDs on this Oloy. The graphics card slowed down. The blower slowed down because I don't think it's actually ramped up. Visually looks fine. Everything's running fine. The cool thing about this board is that there is a power button and the reset. I think I can hold the power to turn it off. Let's see. Let's see if I can do a hard boot off, shut it down here. And it looks like it worked. So there we go, I got it to post. All right, thanks everyone for joining me on this adventure where I got this new machine to post. I'm really excited for it. Got 2 more sticks of RAM coming in. This is 16 gigs. I've got another 16 gigs coming in, so it's gonna be a total of 32 gigs of RAM. Should be enough for my purposes because I like to stream as well as game, so it's like a double thing for me here. I'm gonna be eventually setting this up inside my case. That means adding this CPU to the loop, as well as maybe reusing my GPU. Actually, I don't know. It's gonna be an adventure. We'll see, because you know I don't know about this this CPU or this GPU because I'm not actually going to use this GPU. I'm waiting on the 3080. You know, who knows when when that's going to be available, as well as, you know, the 5000 series CPUs. When's that going to be available? Who knows? You know, we don't know when that's going to be available. But whenever it is, I'm trying to jump on it. So at least I know this motherboard works, and I also know that this RAM is good. So, you know, these two are just going to be things that I have to worry about eventually. But yeah, I do have an M.2 NVMe, so join me on that adventure, because that's going to be an adventure cloning my device from my Windows partition that's in my current rig into the new NVMe, and probably we'll try to see if it boots up here. If I'm able to clone it properly, it should be able to boot up on this. If I were to go in, set this up again, and then try to boot it off of the NVMe, it should work. Except I won't have all of my other SATA drives hooked up. So yeah, we're gonna see what happens, and whatever happens, happens. And thanks guys for watching this video. If you liked it and you want to see more, don't forget to hit that like, hit that subscribe, and tune in for more on ZAM Adventures. Thanks. See ya.